All right. All right. Welcome back to the Women in Construction Innovation podcast, where we celebrate and highlight achievements of women in the construction industry. Jeanette and I are back hosting an episode here with a very special guest. If anyone can guess who it is.
I have no idea, Sam. I have no idea. I can't wait.
It's Heidi Ellsworth.
Hello.
Podcast for joining us.
Thank you. I'm thrilled to be here.
Hey, Heidi, it's such a pleasure to have you on the show. You've got over 3 decades of experience in the roofing industry, and your extensive involvement in organizations, publications. We're so excited to have you here because you really are a trailblazer for women in construction. Why don't we start out with you sharing with our listeners a bit about your journey and how you got started in the roofing industry?
Yeah, thank you. In roofing, everyone says unless you were born into it, no one really plans on going into roofing. And in my case, that probably was somewhat true. But currently today, I'm the president and owner of Roofers Coffee Shop, and it is an online space for the roofing industry where we have podcasts. So it's so fun to be on this podcast and webinars and directories and classifieds. And it's really been the culmination of my career to be where I'm at today with Roofers Coffee Shop and the coffee shops overall. But I started in roofing in 1993 with Malarkey Roofing out of Portland, Oregon. And even though my dad was a general contractor and I grew up in the trades, I really didn't think I was going to go into roofing. I had, seen my mom and dad. They had a good business, general contracting. But I thought, oh, I want to go do something else. So went into the nonprofit world and after college, and then just had this opportunity come up to work for Malarkey Roofing Company in marketing and fell in love with the roofing industry. It's just so many great people, very family oriented. And so from Malarkey, I actually started my own agency, HJE Marketing, where I was able to work with a number of contractors, distributors, manufacturers, technology companies, and really learned the roofing industry from all sides. From there, I actually went to Carlisle. Carlisle purchased my marketing business along with kind of through acquisition deal with EcoStar also. And I was in charge of their marketing communications for several years, then was part of the startup for EagleView in technology. And EagleView does Janine and I both were there, and EagleView does aerial measurements. From there, I was able to join Roofers Coffee Shop full time, and today, like I said, I'm the president and owner. So it's been a fun journey.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah, you've had a ton of experience. I think over 3 decades, right? And holding these key positions with Malarkey and Carlisle, Eagleview, and then starting your own company. I guess I'm sort of interested to understand, what was the inspiration behind starting your own company?
It pretty much my whole career, it always goes back to family. So one of the reasons that I left nonprofit to go to Malarkey was because I was working in nonprofit. You have a lot of late night committee meetings because you're working with volunteers. So my husband and I had started our family, and I just wanted to be home more in the evenings. I didn't want to have to work those late nights. And so that started me down into Malarkey. And then when our second child was born, I kind of was like, I can stay home. I can work. I can start this company. It's like what you think when you're 32, I can do anything. And we started the company, and I was like, well, we'll save this on childcare, and we'll do this and we'll do that. And my husband had a great job with all the benefits. And so it was really just that opportunity as a family to be able to work through the having a family life, but also having a career. and being able to be with the kids. And that really throughout my whole career has been the deciding factor for me as I make decisions in my career and in our families. That has been 100% is how does it affect the family and what does it do to really kind of take not only the business and our family, but bring it all together. And today, believe it or not, my husband and I, he's part of owner in Roofer's Coffee Shop. And so we work together and both of our kids work for us. They are chief of staff and multimedia manager. So it's something along the way worked out right.
Wow.
Yeah.
You really pulled that all together. That's amazing. That's amazing.
Well, they kind of tell you as a woman that you can't do that, right? That, you got to be one or the other, or, you just put all these stereotypes around you. And I was just always like, let's break that because we can have a family, we can have all these great things, and we can have a great career in the industry and in construction where women are not, it was a male dominated industry and still is in a lot of ways, but a lot of people tell you can't, and I was always like, why not?
Yeah.
I feel like so many women could relate to that.
Yeah.
To your story and, the motivation behind starting your own company and all of the experience that you've had. So
Right.
I think it's unique.
Just saying, you say we can't, but why, why not? Right.
Yeah.
I think just that alone is it's very, inspiring, and certainly in this industry. And that's a big part of why we bring people on the podcast is to talk about how they, you can break through, and how this is a great industry to be in too.
It is. It is. Construction overall is very family based because if you look back, centuries, construction companies have been family started. They've been, a husband and wife starting a construction company, their kids work for them. And so it's really a family oriented industry overall. And if you tap into that part of it, even with the huge corporations and big business and everything that's going on now, that's still a very, very big part of it. And so I think that's why I've always been very interested or wanting to be a part of the construction world is the people and the family values.
Yeah. Sam and I talk about it all the time, how just amazing our customers are. There is nothing like sitting down with a customer and talking for a few hours about what they're faced with on the job site and the challenges they have and the innovation and cool things that they have to deal with on a daily basis. I mean, there's nothing like it.
Yeah, it's so true.
Well, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, things have changed so much now too, and we have so much more freedom because I'm like noticing where I'm sitting outside. I'm working remote this week. And so that has also changed, and being able to be with your family more. So sorry, go ahead.
No. Well, you were doing a nice segue there into kind of in the industry itself, right? So you've been part of, contributing to this industry for a long time through Professional Roofing, Western Roofing, Siding and Insulation Magazine, Midwest Roofer, Florida Roofing Magazine, sharing marketing tactics for roofing contractors. It's important for these businesses to know how to market their business, how to be, seen and get customers, right?
Right.
So how do you specifically to that, how do you see marketing evolving in the roofing industry? And what advice would you give contractors who are looking to make their marketing better, or even maybe get started? Like maybe they're really not doing too much today and relying on word of mouth. What would you say to them?
Yeah, I would say technology needs to be your friend. Right now, technology is, if you do not have, the right websites, the right CRMs, the right software tools in your business, you are going to be left behind. And we have a whole new generation that is coming in of Gen Z and millennials who are starting construction companies in whichever trade, and they understand it. They understand all of the technology that's out there. They're using it, and they are one step above more traditional, older, conservative companies that have not brought this in. And that is 100% true in marketing. I think, you have to take the time. What used to be a yellow page ad is now a website. What used to be advertising in the newspaper is now Google or Facebook. And you have to be able to understand that or find people who understand that to help you. And I think one of the big things that I say to roofing contractors in particular is when you're working with people, work with people who understand roofing or understand the trade that you're in, because you can spend a lot of money teaching somebody your trade and not get that much. Whereas there's a lot of really great companies. I mean, I had my own agency for a while, helped a lot of different folks, and at Roofers Coffee Shop now, we help people find those people, right? Find the marketing groups, find the developers who understand our market. And so I talk a lot about that. And I think one of the other things, and I'm going to kind of contradict myself here a little bit, but it's really important with all this technology that you also you really show that core culture of your business. Very authentic, have your employees as your brand ambassadors, be involved in your community, give back, because the technology gets it out there, but what you are and what your company is what is the heart and is what customers they want to do with business with people they like. And
Right.
so, yeah.
That's kind of like that's like we'll just say the old school way of doing things can't go away, right? You've got to be authentic. You've got to be, know your neighborhood or your neighborhoods. They've got to know you. But technology helps raise that visibility that you're there and you've got services that people need. And then your personal connection, the culture that you create in your organization is what turns that into long-term lifetime customers, people that just, they like being around you and they trust you with their home or their business. And
exactly.
Yeah. That's great.
And it has to be the culture of the whole company, right? I mean, because whether it's the salesperson who they meet first, or if it's the project manager who's out on the site, or the amazing folks that are working on the roof and is actually installing it or building the home, whatever that may be, it needs to every step of the way, employees need to have that same culture to really, so that the homeowners trust the company overall, because they see consistency.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. I think goes back to what you were saying earlier, like building trust, having that family, because this industry is very much driven by that family atmosphere. And I think there's a lot of parallels with what you're saying with technology and saying that story for your company, and just myself being a part of that side of our business as well.
Right.
Like another piece to all of this that I think also adds to just building relationships and knowing your ideal customer and making sure they know you is associations.
Yes.
That's been a huge piece to, I think I love that piece to it personally. And I know you've served in a lot of associations. I really want to hear more about that and how, that shapes the roofing industry and the relationships that you build and bringing on new clients and whatnot.
It really does. It is so important to give back to the industry that has given so much to you, and associations, in my mind, is the best way to do that. And whether that's giving your time, your talents, your treasures, to donations to the associations and to their foundations, that is so important, and it gives back to you in so many ways. I mean, it's such a big circle. And so I've been on the board of Western States Roofing Contractors Association for several years. We are a one voice member with National Roofing Contractors Association. And we are very active with them today. And a number, Florida, I've been in a lot of different things, but I think probably one of my most exciting things that kind of goes with this podcast is back in 2014, a group of ladies and I, we just said we need a professional organization in roofing for women. And we feel that there are a lot more women that are given credit for, or that are seen and being able to have opportunities. And a lot of that happens through networking. If you don't have a chance to network, and let's just face it, in some of the older construction industries, some of the networking wasn't always so friendly to women. And so we wanted to change that. So we started National Women in Roofing, and National Women in Roofing is now over 2,500 members, and is a dominant force within the industry. But it kind of, again, went back to that, you know, how many times did someone either tell me how to do it or that I couldn't do it? And all of us were like, we can, and we're going to, and we don't need you to tell us how. And not in a mean way, but just that we wanted it to be formed by women and with what we felt was important and what we needed. And so it has just been it is, you know, a life changer for me. The women who are in construction, who are in roofing, are so close. I can pick up and talk to anybody across the country, in almost every business within roofing, just through that network of National Women in Roofing, and what it gives back and empowers women. So we have councils all over the country where women get together, and then we have our national organization. And it's been spectacular. It's so important, I think, to be involved, to give back. Just so you know, too, we started another organization after National Women Roofing, another different group, called Roofing Technology Think Tank, RT3, all about technology and roofing. And we bring technology like yours into the roofing industry and we, you know, we really feel that, again, roofing is a little bit behind the times. We need to bring all these great solutions and ideas. And we cover everything from software, SaaS, to robotics, to translation technology, across the board. So yeah, another association that I think has really been a little cutting edge and important to the industry overall.
Yeah, you're really always on the move there, aren't you, Heidi?
Yeah.
I wanted
Sounds
to
like
ask
we should join.
I wanted to ask quickly, because we've been hearing a lot in the news about diversity and inclusion. Kind of that conversation is not really happening as much anymore. I think this is kind of how we operate, right? We try and make things really important, and they become programs, and they become employees on your team. And we're starting to see that that's less and less of a role in an organization, but also it's not as much of a conversation. How do you see, you know, National Women in Roofing and its impact on promoting diversity and inclusion within that sector?
Yeah. I think politics gets in the way of a lot of really good things, to be honest. And the conversation about diversity has not stopped, and it cannot stop. It has to be a topic that is where we are being inclusive as an industry. And in construction, probably more than anything, it's being driven by need too. We have a labor shortage. So if as an industry, you're going to ignore half the population because you're not hiring women and not promoting them in positions when women are in high demand so many other places and can go find other jobs for great salaries. And if you're not doing that in an industry, you've just lost 50% of the population. And where are you at with your labor shortage?
Right.
If you are not open to different ways of thinking, to minorities, to immigration, to those kind of things, you have just done the exact same thing to your business or to your industry, because you cut off huge part. I mean, 30 to 40% of the roofing industry is Hispanic. If you're not being inclusive, if you don't believe in diversity, you're missing out. You're going to have some real problems. And so I think no matter what the maybe larger political discussion is, the real world, the real need and everything is driving this. And people believe in it. National Women Roofing have an amazing DEI course called Real Roofing that people are taking every day to help learn the terminology, because some of the political correctness gets in the way too. And it's hard when people feel, especially older generation, feel like I'm always saying things wrong. We've got to bridge that gap
Yeah.
because the inclusiveness needs to happen. And what I'm seeing in comparison over the last 30 years, women, it used to be there was one spot, right?
Mm.
There'd be that one spot at the top and on the executive team. And
Yeah.
we need to look good, so we're gonna have a woman in it,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
That's changing. That's
Yeah.
changing. And I see strong leadership, women, minorities, you name it, across the board. And those are the companies that are succeeding. So
Mm.
that's driving it too.
Yeah.
Across. So I'm a little bit more optimistic about it because I see it every day and I kind of ignore the chatter.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. Good, good. Thanks, Heidi. Oh man. Well, it has been just an absolute pleasure speaking with you today. Your dedication to advancing the roofing industry, empowering women, it's really inspiring. So, I know we're going to wrap, but is there any final message you want to convey to our audience or to us as we wrap things up and end our conversation? Although not forever, right? This is a
I
great
know.
and we'll continue it. But any final words about aspiring women and helping them in the industry?
Yeah, I would really recommend to all women, whether you're in construction or not. So first of all, if you're not in construction and you're looking for a career and you're looking for a place that really you can excel, I would say look in construction, definitely look in roofing. I can tell you that for sure. There are so many job openings and so much we need it. Project managers, I mean, on the roof, in the office, in the boardroom, across the board, there are so many opportunities within the roofing industry, but I see it across all construction. And then I would really recommend to reach out to other women. Don't be scared to reach out and say, hey, can I have a conversation? Can I talk? I'm thinking about changing a career, or I'm thinking about, I'm not happy where I'm at. I don't see a path for me to grow. What do you think I should look at? What do you think I should do? I think when you network and talk to other women and ask those questions, make yourself a little bit vulnerable, it leads to huge things. And I know in roofing, because what happens when someone says, well, I'm thinking about making a career change, or I'm thinking about doing something different, all of a sudden we're like, oh, talk to this person. Oh, talk to that person. Let me introduce you. How do you do that? Maybe it's just an informational interview. So don't be scared to reach out and to really use the female network that is so strong. I don't think people overall realize how strong it is, but
Yeah.
I guess I just gave that away.
Yeah. No,
That's great. I love that. Well, thank you once again, Heidi. We have just so enjoyed this conversation. I think you brought so many great insights. And thank you to our listeners for listening, and tune in again for more inspiring stories.
Thank you so much. This has been such an honor. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it.